Well, as I noted in a previous video, I have just passed the, you might say, milestone of being married 40 years. So in this particular video, I wanted to talk about what about the first year or the first couple years of your marriage? What are some things that you should be doing or working on? You know, Deuteronomy 25, verse 5 says, when a man takes a new wife, he shall not go out with the army or be charged with any duty. He shall be free at home 1 year and shall give happiness to his wife whom he has taken. I like that from the standpoint of that the man is to assume manly responsibilities and be in charge of the happiness. So here's just some things that I thought over the years are helpful. That first year of marriage is a year to create good habits, and that would be things like regular attendance at services, Hebrews chapter 10, 24 and 25, regular periods of prayer together, regular Bible study, just good habits that you're creating as a couple, that we're not sleeping in on Sunday morning, we're not skipping services, we're not waiting for the other person to kind of kick you in the behind to get you going, that you're both responsible, that certain things are just settled. We're going to get up, we're going to Bible study, we're going to worship. We don't even have a conversation about that because it is settled. That's what we do as a family. That's the type of family that we're wanting to become. Number two, be open to changing things about yourself that you need changing, because you do. You're young, you're still somewhat inexperienced, you have a lot of growing to do. So be open to changing things about yourself. Number three, be humble. You got a lot of things that you need to fix. All right, there's things that you don't know. There's things that you need to learn. So be humble. Be open to advice from older Christians or older couples. Also, listen to your mate. If you married them, then they probably are pretty smart. And so be open to their suggestions. Along with that is that, remember, they were not necessarily raised exactly as you were raised. And so you're going to have to kind of create your normal together. For example, in some households, maybe dessert was a single scoop of ice cream. In other households, it was an entire bowl of ice cream. Okay, you're going to have to decide kind of what's your normal in life. Be careful that you just don't assume that everything that you are brought up with is going to be part of your new marriage. An example of that, when I was a kid and we would go from the Willamette Valley to the Oregon coast, we would always stop in the Van Duzer corridor and use the restrooms. That was our family normal. When I married my wife and we went to the coast and I was about ready to pull off, and she said, "Where are you pulling off for?" I was saying, like, "Well, it's the Van Duzer corridor, we got to use the restroom." She says, "Well, I don't have to go." And so all of a sudden I realized, it's not mandatory that you have to stop at that location. And so be open to being flexible as far as a couple. What are things that you're going to take from both of your backgrounds and blend together and now make part of your new family? Watch your words. Conversations are spirals. You can either say something that will spiral your relationship up, or you can say a word or a phrase that immediately will spiral the relationship down. You come home from work. Your wife says, "I'm putting something together, but I went to the store today, but I don't have even vanilla extract. I forgot to get it." Now, as a man, what you could say is, "Well, wait a minute, I worked all day, and what do you mean you forgot it?" That's going to spiral everything down. Or you could say, "No problem, no problem. Do you need anything else?" Give her a kiss. "I'll be right back." And see, at any given moment in your relationship, you have the power. You have the power by your words and your attitude. You have the power to keep spiraling everything up, or you've got the power to drop a bomb and explode stuff and blow things to pieces. You've got that power. Realize you've got that power and use it wisely. Always check yourself on the next thing that you're going to say in any sort of disagreement or tense situation. The next thing that you could say could either really improve things or it could just do the opposite. You don't have to get the last word. I know over the years of counseling couples, and I would be talking to both of them, and it seemed like we had made improvement until one of them wants to get in the last word. You don't have to get in the last word, okay? And so that can be a very temptation to try to get in that last little word. You said what you said, they said what they said. Hey, move on from there. Invest. Your marriage is like a bank. You need to make deposits because you're going to have to make withdrawals at some time. And withdrawals, I mean, there's going to be days that you're sick. There's going to be days that you're not feeling good. There's going to be times as a man that you're going to have to put in a lot of overtime, that you're not, something's going to come up and you're not able to be at a particular event or whatever. That's a withdrawal on the relationship. So those are just going to come. You need to make sure that you're making enough deposits in your relationship that when you have to make a withdrawal, there's actually, you might say, resources in the account. Marriages always get into trouble when people are making a lot of withdrawals and they're making no deposits. All right, which brings us to the next point. You need to invest early in your marriage. I find one mistake that a lot of young men and some young ladies make is that in the first year or so of their marriage, they don't invest. They're busy, they're gone a lot, etc. Unfortunately, maybe they're still acting somewhat like they're single with their time and with their money, etc. No, invest. Once you're married, remember that that's the relationship to invest in. Some of the other relationships in your life are going to have to take a back seat. You need to invest in that relationship and build it up. And so don't make the mistake. There are a number of men that did not invest early in their marriage, and 10 or 15 or 20 years in, their marriages are in trouble. And at that point, they put a lot of effort into it, and the thing falls apart because understand it's all about timing. You may make so many withdrawals in your marriage that at the time that you finally are decided that you want to work on it, your partner may have decided not interested. And that all your effort and etc. may really not matter to them at all because they're just tired. They're just tired of dealing with you and all your withdrawals. So don't assume that you can always fix it later. Don't assume that a lot of effort 10 or 20 years later is going to bring it back to what it could be. People's spirits are like your fist. You can do things that close them. Once you've closed a person's spirit or heart, it's really hard. It's really hard to open it up again. Okay? So invest early on in your relationship. Act like you're married. Yeah. Be home. Be spending time with your mate. Don't just be out buying things for yourself selfishly. You're a team now. You're a couple now. Do things together. Act like you're married. Do not presume upon their kindness. Don't just marry somebody and say, well, they're stuck with me now. They can't divorce me or whatever. They're stuck with me now. That's presuming on their kindness. That's almost like using grace as a license to sin. And that's a big mistake. As I said, there's a time when effort can come too late. And that's after withdrawal, after withdrawal, after withdrawal. Avoid laziness. That will kill a relationship. A person can't respect you if you're lazy. Combine the money. Do not have separate bank accounts. That's a big mistake. It's a really big mistake because it's easy to hide money from one another. It's a big mistake because bills don't get paid because you assumed and they assumed, etc. Just combine the money. I mean, you're one flesh. You're supposed to be one flesh. You're a team. Why not combine the money? There's something really wrong if you're not combining your money. There's something that says you don't trust each other, or you don't want to be completely open about your life to this other person. Marriage is a relationship, as someone said. You handcuff yourself to each other, then you tell yourself that you tell each other the truth about yourselves. All right? And so definitely combine the money. Too many problems with having separate accounts. You're in the dark. There's a temptation to spend money on things and hide things, etc. No, marriage doesn't work when you're not upfront and honest with each other about yourself and about your time, where you've been, and all your finances. So, honesty, no hiding. No hiding where you've been, no hiding money, no hiding conversations on the internet, that sort of thing. Honesty is important in that first year of marriage. Also, there needs probably at some point to be somewhat of a break from the family. That is, and wise families will let you do that. Wise families will say, hey, don't come running home to mama, right? Wise families will say, you got your own place, etc. You got your own finances. Yeah, we might help you here and there, but you're on your own, and we want you to stand on your own 2 feet. And so there needs to be there needs to be a healthy, respectful distance with mom and dad and extended family. As a man, you're now the head of that household. And so as a couple, you work things out together. And then I would finally say, start the pattern where you grow together, where you're growing like at the same rate. You're both attending together, you're both praying, you're both reading and doing your Bible lessons, you're both involved in the congregation as a couple, as a team. You have people over together, you extend hospitality, maybe you're teaching some Bible classes together, you're attending things like group meetings and classes for parenting together. Not just, there's always a danger when just one person is doing that in a relationship, and it's like, well, where's the other one? They're married, right? Where's the other one? Don't marry somebody who's not going to grow with you. Don't be under this illusion like where they're cute, but they're cute and they have money or whatever, and I guess that will do. And I'll just kind of work on my own Christian life, and they're cute. That's going to wear thin, real thin, after a while. It's very hard to respect someone and continue to love someone who is not maturing and who is not growing spiritually and who is not developing depth in their life. That relationship gets old really quick. Those are my thoughts. My name is Mark, and until next time, we'll see you later.